Hello, folks. Welcome to another round of Modern. We have Leland Machin playing Yorion Esper Control versus Christos Kopinski, who is on Boros, Obosh, Midrange, or BroBosh. Uh, did I say Boros right? Did I say Boros again? Damn it. Whatever. Alright. So, Krista, if you have not been watching our channel and watched her deck tech that we did, currently I think it's 24-0 as of this match, as the start of this match. And she has just been killing it with this really interesting Boros, oh god, red-white Obosh deck. Yeah, there's a lot of just cool interactions that she's been doing, and she's kind of just become like the goal in the shop to take her down, to finally be the one to beat her. So Chris is going to put a tap Secret Foundry in, and then play Giver of Runes. I saw that she was playing against a control matchup, and I was like, ooh, let's do this. I'm in for... I was like, I don't think we've had you on camera versus control yet, so... Also, I want to get, different stuff on the camera as much as possible. And Leland is a good player. We joke that he takes his time in rounds, but he plays control, and, there's nothing wrong with that. Control takes its time, Alright, so currently, Giver of Runes is cracking in. Leland is on like 20 turn clock. That stepmom is going to go the distance. Never mind, it is not going to go the distance. It has been fatal pushed. Both players using a companion right now. Kind of just like living up to the whole, if your deck can play a companion, why wouldn't you? The aspiring spike method of life. Now, if you don't know either of these companion restrictions, I'd be surprised about the Yorion one. But Yorion just says you have to have 20 more cards in your deck than your starting amount, your regular starting amount. So you have to play minimum 80 cards. And it's usually not a consistency issue at all. Now, Obosh, the Prey Piercer, says that all cards in your deck must have an odd converted mana cost. So, 1, 3, 5, 7. I think 5 is the cap in Krista's deck, but you never know. She could show up out of nowhere with a 9-drop, and I'd be like, yo, how have I never seen this card? Casting a March of... Oh, god, no. Reckless Joy? Reckless Joy. Yeah, she gets to excavate cards from the top of her deck. And then she can play them until the end of, I believe, the next turn. Really cool card against control. Just an additional card draw engine. And because it's play, she can, get lands off of it too. So her land drop for turn can be guaranteed here. So she can put that Den of the Bugbear or that Windswept Heath in. I feel like she's probably going to go with the Den. Ooh. My reasoning for the Den is that way you have some functionality out of your lands. But she does like to aggressively fetch basics. She is a Blood Moon deck. And let me tell you, I was making jokes while, hold on. I have to remember to trim that audio. Otherwise, you guys hear me cough and no one wants that. I was making jokes while they were playing, and I was like, I'm pretty sure if my opponent aggressively fetches basic planes against me, I am shaking in my boots. Alright, so we're dashing Ragavan here. Tacking in for 2. Let's see what Leland's got here. Leland has 2 March of Otherworldly Lights himself. It's probably not that bad here to just go alright, cool, march it. Yep. That's when Chris just ephemerates the Ragavan. Alright. The other cool thing about the elementals is with Reckless Joy is that, I don't want to say she needs a Solitude, and she just finds the Solitude, she can just cast it, which is really cool. The evoke effect does not have to be from hand, to my knowledge. Unless I'm wrong, which, if I am, let me know in the comments. I don't play Magic. I do, but... running joke in the shop is that I don't play Magic. Leon's going to play a land pass the turn. We're at 4 mana here. He's missing a basic plane. So if Blood Moon comes down, he might be in a rough spot. I don't think he'll let a Blood Moon resolve, but hypothetically could come down. Here comes a Ragavan, the Nimble Pilferer, and then 3 mana casting, attempts to cast a Fable of the Mirror Breaker, the 3 mana enchantment from Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. This card does a lot. First chapter abilities, you make a 2/2 Goblin Warrior. Goblin Warrior says on it, when it attacks, you make a treasure token. Its second chapter abilities, you can discard up to 2 cards, and then you draw for as many cards as you discard. So if you discard 1, draw 1, discard 2, draw 2. And the third ability is that you exile the thing, and you return to the battlefield as the back half of the card, which is a creature, which is literally just Kiki Jiki. So tap a mana to do its ability, and it doesn't have haste. So definitely a card that warrants being countered. Krista has some absurd interactions with Fable the Mirror Breaker in this deck. Have you ever been Furied at instant speed? Not only can she do it with Ephemerate, she can do it by making another copy of Fury. I've seen her make copies of Solitudes, the stuff that actually I think the coolest one, and it's really simple, was she made a copy of Seasoned Pyromancer just to get just an additional draw 2 during the opponent's turn. Like she was empty-handed. She's like, alright, cool, I'll just make during your end phase I'll make a Pyro draw 2, and it's like it's pretty good. Pretty good. Leland plays a Castle Ardenvale, which I think I was teasing him about. I was like, man, you playing all these cards that I don't know the name of. Why I called them standard lands, but they're not. Throne's not in standard anymore. Castle Ardenvale, I believe its mana sync ability or its activated abilities, you make a 1/1 soldier. It could be a spirit. You make a 1/1, I'm pretty sure. Lockswain draws you a card. The blue one scries. The green one makes a bunch of mana. The red one gives first strike. I think that's the rest of the cycle. Leland has a Rafine's Tower. I think it's the other land in play that's kind of not typical because it's the new Triumph, the new Esper Triumph. And he also has the Zagoth Triumph in play as well. So additional mana pips for Prismatic Ending, I'm assuming. Alright, Chris is going to activate Den of the Bugbear here. And try and get in for some damage. I'm going to... Oh. It's going to just march the Bugbear. This is a 0 CMC permanent. Because it's going to attack in for 2. Is Ragavan going to hit? Ragavan is not going to hit. We're going to Kaya's Guile. With the mode, probably Krista sacrificing a creature. And I guess the Spirit, right? Yeah, 1/1 Spirit. Kaya's Guile is one of my favorite cards. Esper Control, honestly, is one of my favorite, it's probably it is definitely my preferred blend of control. Esper Charm, just also really good. Alright, is it Teferi Time Raveler? I don't think Leland's playing Esper Charm, though, which is kind of sad. Alright, upticking to 5. Fetching. Spirit cracked in for some damage. I think we have our first combat damage of the match. Or of the game. There he goes. Finds his basic planes. He's going to buy Yorion into his hand. If Krista wanted to slam a Blood Moon, this would be the opportunity to do so. Leland is tapped out. Could have a force negation in his hand. He does have the blue card to pitch, being Yorion. Yeah, Chris is just going to buy Obosh. And is going to bolt Fairy down to 2. Removing Leland's ability to draw a card next turn if he wanted to. Leland picks up another land for turn. But it looked like another basic. Yeah, he drew another island. Fairy's going to go to 3. Spirit's going to crack in for damage. I imagine we play a land and play Yorion, and then blink the Time Raveler to reset it to 4. You don't get much value out of it, but like, you get a 4/5 that you can start punching Krista with. So it's going to play a land for turn. Now, when the mid-range player has more cards in hand than the control player. Here comes a Fury. Fury is going to immediately kill that Time Raveler. Ooh, picked up a Solitude. Going to Solitude the Fury. Because it's going to go to 18 and then take 5 damage. So we do 13. Passes a turn. Sacred Foundry going down to 11. Tapping 5 here for her own Solitude. Yeah, casting a Solitude. Going to exile Yorion. Luna's going to go to 21. He just flung the Yorion. I forgot about that. Okay, just passes a turn. Draw a card. Attacks him for 4. He's going to ephemerate the Solitude and aggressively slams the Solitude of his own. That is so aggressive. Why? Alright, Chris is going to go to 14. And then take 4. Go to 10. The computer is trying to force me to update it. We will update tonight. Alright, there's Blood Moon coming out here. To untap. This leaves Leland with a swamp, 2 islands, a plains, and basics. And mountains. Cracking in for 6-7 damage here. Leland gaining a bunch of life. It's going to end step Memory Deluge. Still look at the top 4 cards of his deck and can put 2 of them into his hand. On the bottom deck, those 2 lands that are definitely mountains now. There's a Solitude coming out. Solitude, exile, Solitude. There's a Snapcaster Mage. Targeting Kaya's Guile. I'm going to force Chris to sack a creature. Has the mana to pay for the Kaya's Guile. And that is going to be game 1 going to Leland. We will be right back with game 2, folks. And we are back with game 2. We got Krista on the play here. Leland looks like he's resolving a mulligan. Going to go Marsh Flats Pass. I imagine she's going to fetch a basic plains. Leland probably not going to fetch basic planes, but it's going to go Flood of Strand Pass. The light is reflecting off those cards a lot. Let me tell you. Both players still have their preferred companions set to the side. Arid Mason, cool. And opting to not fetch. Okay. 2 fetches. Chris is going to fetch. Grabbing a second basic planes. How to know there's probably a Blood Moon in her hand. That actually is like all the white cards in her hand. She has talked about how she like does aggressively fetch planes a lot. As a Sacred Foundry, going to go to 16. Okay, tries to slam down a Fable of the Mirror Breaker. I wonder if Leland lets that resolve. Alright, he does. Gonna make that 2/2 warrior, and is prepared with the tokens. It's always appreciated when players have the tokens ready on hand. Because we don't. we don't. My coffee has gone cold. This is a disaster. Alright, plays an island, passes the turn. Going to second chapter ability, discard 2 lands here. Going to draw 2 cards. Alright, dashes out of Ragavan. Knows going to crack both of his fetches here. Grabbing a basic island and a watery grave. Opting to not grab planes. Interesting. Alright, it's going to push the Ragavan. Why is the island tapped? Did I miss something? Oh no. Alright, has a planes in hand, that's why. Going to play Teferi Time Reveler here. I wonder if there's an argument to bounce the Fable. Don't have the mana to counterspell it, unless like you have a Spell Pierce in hand. Quickly, Kristen more than likely has another land in hand. I don't know. Alright, there's a March of Reckless Joy coming out. In response to the Teferi. Going to find a land for turn. Teferi resolves. The Fable will flip. Kristen plays a land for turn. Got 2 mana here. Dashes out Ragavan. Ragavan's going to kill Teferi. Draw for turn. Four mana. Right, Ragavan gets dashed. The Fable and the Ragavan are coming in to hit. Just going to get the Jace Mind Sculptor off the top there. Just going to tap and play Giver of Runes. It's going to spend 3 mana to put Obosh into hand. Alright. Pretty sweet, pretty sweet. Ow. It's punched my desk. Not doing well here, folks. Okay. Leland's going to play Flooded Strands for turn. Just passes back to Krista. Got a counterspell in hand. Find the Marsh Flats, plays out his land for turn. Fetches up a Basic Plains. That's Basic Plains number 3, folks. You might not be keeping track, but I am. Two mana, Ragavan the Nimble Pilfer, getting dashed out. It's going to eat a counterspell. See, Kaya's got on his hand. Trying to see like what other non-land spells Leland has access to. Tap Hallowed Fountain. As land for turn, tapping 4 mana here. Goes to animate the Den of the Bugbear. Is going to use Reflections of the Mirror Breaker on the Den of the Bugbear, or at least that's the attempt. I know this gets rewound back a little bit, because I think if you copy the land, there was a ruling. I'm trying to remember what it was. If you copy Fable or the Den of the Bugbear, it'll enter tap because of how it works, because it's still a land. It has to be then made into a creature. So that conversation is going to play out. I'm just going to rewind that a little bit. So we got 4 damage coming in here. Squirrel. Okay, fetches out a basic island. Leland, interestingly, using those island arts. Not a negative thing. I think I see more people using the other island from Kamigawa. I think that's the one I prefer, if I remember correctly. But still looks pretty good. Alright, so Leland's gonna Kaya's Gal here, entwining it, so it's gonna get every mode. Leland's gonna gain some life, make a spirit, exile Krista's Yard, and then Krista sacks a creature. I think the actual order goes to sack creature, exile Yard, make 1/1, gain life. I was like, but I don't imagine, or I imagine she just sacks the token, so. Right, tapped Hallowed Fountain. Cast Yorion. It looks like 5 mana there in her hand to me. We getting Fury, we getting Solitude. Okay, getting Obosh, also pretty good. It's going to bolt Yorion for 6 damage here. So if you don't know why I just said 6 damage, Obosh doubles any damage dealt by a card with odd type costing. So I bolt to 6, Fury does 12 when it attacks. It's double strike. Yeah. Alright. Leland's going to attempt to Fatal Push the Giver of Runes. Krista, in response, looks like she's going to Kiki Jiki the Giver, use the Giver copy to give that Giver protection from black, which is a super sweet play. I'm all about that. Alright, Flood of Strand Pass. Plays Den of the Bugbear as a land for turn. My phone is giving me all types of notifications. Alright, tax in for 6 here because it's a 3/5. I think so. Going to chump block with the Spirit here. Goes to end step, cast Solitude here. Immediately getting met with a counterspell. Makes sense. looks like 4 mana and a done activation here. It's going to attack in for 3, 4, 8. No, sorry. 3, 6, 9, 10. As the Obosh will have its own damage, however, the tokens are 0 CMC cards. So Colonnade going to block something here. Giver is going to give protection from white onto the Obosh. Colonnade is going to block the 1/1, taking 6, 9, going to 3. There's Blood Moon getting slammed down. Leland spell pierces it. Okay. And draws a Castle Vantress, which is not going to do anything for him there. So Chris is going to take game 2, and we are on our way to game 3, folks. And we are back with game 3, folks. We got Leland on the play here. Leland with Sagoth Triumph, passing to Krista, who goes Marsh Flats into Ragavan. Okay, so we're going to be getting a Sacred Foundry here, going to 17 life. And passes it right. I have a bee aggressively attacking my window. Interesting. Alright, Hall of the Storm Giants as Leland's second land for the turn. And is just going to Solitude the Ragavan now. Okay. Exiling what looks like to be a Wandering Emperor. Chris is going to go back to 19. The Ragavan gets exiled. Draw the Relic of Progenitus for turn. Okay. Guess for Snapcaster interactions. Like Giver of Runes. We eat a card from the graveyard. Oh god. John Catacomb is the land he plays for turn. See Archmage's Triumph Teferi here, Dominaria in Leland's hand. Alright. Chris just buys Obosh to hand. Passes. Leland's going to draw 2 cards here. Plays a Sunken Ruin as a land for turn. That is the Dimir filter land, if anyone is curious. What are all these messages? Alright. So spinning the relic here. Taps mana, goes to cast Ragavan. Probably going to eat a counterspell if Leland has one. Or some form of removal at least. No Giver's Live, yeah. So, counterspell it is. Here comes second Giver of Runes. Everything will have protection forever. Texan for 1. Leland's going to go 19. Shoxin going to 17. Plays a Hero of Dominaria. Draws a card. It's going to get to untap 2 lands in his end step. Untaps a Hallowed Fountain and a Zagoth Triumph, giving him access to both colors he needs. Alright, evokes a Fury here. Pitching Obosh. Going to do 4 to the Fairy. Going to Ephemerate the Fury as well, which is definitely killing the Fairy. Alright, Chris is going to fetch real quick. Grabs a untapped Sacred Foundry here to 16. And 3 mana plays here Seasoned Pyromancer. She's empty-handed, so she just gets to draw 2 cards here. Ye old pot of greed. Leland just unfortunately not having a counterspell that entire interaction. Oh boy. Alright. Oh, he's playing Esper Charm. I love it. Love that card. Supreme Verdict off the top would be what Leland needs, I'm pretty sure. He's taking 9 damage next turn. Gonna go to 8. Or no, sorry, it's 8 damage going to 9. I always forget that Pyromancer is like I think it's a 2/3. I always think it's a 3/2 for some reason. Now I'm curious. Seasoned Pyro, yeah. Alright, cool. 2/2. 2/2. Like every time we have there's a Pyromancer on camera, I'm like, oh yeah, it's 3 damage. It's not a 3/3. Or a 3/2. Alright. Attacking in for 8. I'm going to cast Deafening Silence, which I'm going to read aloud for the class here. Deafening Silence is a 1 mana enchantment from Throne of Eldraine. Each player can't cast more than 1 non-creature spell each turn. He's going to Esper Charm, draw 2 here. Leland can't really play anything. Ow, that was during Crystal's turn. Duh. Draws a Glacial Fortress return, which comes in untapped. Three mana, draw 2 more cards here with the Archmage's Charm. I was trying to, I think, find interaction. Krista draws a land for turn. Goes to combat. Alright, attacks in for 8. Putting Leland to 1. This looks like a rough spot for our young warrior. Supreme Verdict off the top. It's just what it needed. No, I don't think that combination of cards is going to get him there. And he's going to concede. Krista's going to take it 2-1 here in Game 3 and continues her streak of being undefeated. Thank you for watching, folks. Have a great day.